everybody. Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Thursday, February the 9th is race number 8 at Aqueduct. It's a first level allowance for older New York bred fillies and mares. We're going 7/8 of a mile. Scan the QR code for race of the day access on your mobile devices. As we take a look at this field, the morning line favorite is the number 7 Carbon, who's run some good races in her career, but is coming off kind of a blah performance as the favorite. Maybe it was the sloppy track.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, she's come back from a layoff, and in 3 of her 4 starts, Dan, she's caught sealed racetracks. The last one was in the slop, and as you were sort of alluding to, she did not run well there, but her prior form makes her pretty tough in here.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector because the number 1 Stone Creator showed a good amount of ability last year for trainer Charlie Baker, earning 2 stakes placings against New York breds. She has speed. She figures to be fresh off the layoff. In Dave Grenning's DRF race advance for this race, he mentioned that Charlie just put Stone Creator away because she was a very nervous filly. Maybe she's come back more mature at 4.
Yeah, she certainly has potential, Dan, but let's put it that way. She started out her career like there was a chance she was going to be pretty good. Her win over this course and distance last January, very good performance, taking on race-long pressure before she got clear. And then she ran well in 2 stakes, but her final 2 starts weren't good before they stopped on her. I sort of wondered if it was a distance thing. It's interesting to hear Charlie talk about her being sort of a nervous type, but I thought maybe it was a distance thing because she just didn't finish at all in either of those races.
Talking a little bit more about the number 1 Stone Creator, who picks up Frankie Pennington 5-2 on the morning line. Her last race was way back in May, but I agree with you, Mike. I like her turning back. That May race was a 1-turn mile. There was a solid pace. It was a solid field. The 3rd place horse came back to run second in a second level New York bred allowance with a 79 buyer. And if she gets loose in here, she could be very tough to catch. Now, the number 2 is Yogi, coming off of a maiden win against $40,000 state bred claimers. Let's watch Yogi in start number 4. And if you're using a Yogi-ism, it's getting late early, Mike, here. He's got a lot of work to do, Yogi, in the stretch, and she's going to eventually run down this exhausted leader.
Yeah, this leader in this race, you got to keep in mind, this is a $40,000 maiden claimer. The horse on the lead here just went way too fast early and is on her hands and knees here in the final 1/8 of a mile. And Yogi is going to be the one who ultimately takes advantage of it and runs up late to break her maiden. She's got to run way better than that if she's going to beat this field.
The number 3 is Temperamental, and she finished ahead of the morning line favorite in this race. The number 7 Carbon in her most recent start, it was over a sloppy track, but it was a good effort considering she was stepping up off a 2L Open claiming victory. Seems in good form right now for Rudy Rodriguez. The horse that won that last race came right back to win a second level New York bred allowance with an 82 buyer.
Yeah, I mean, she did earn a career best figure in that most recent start, Dan, but it was a situation where the winner got right to the front in there and nobody ever really threatened her. And to me, all Temperamental did was sit, a pretty clean trip off of it and sort of finished evenly to get up for 4th. I didn't think she ran that well last time, but this field might not be as tough as that last one.
Shadow Lamo is up next. This is a 5-time winner facing several horses that are still eligible for now winners of 2, now winners of 3. Okay effort last time, going a 1-turn mile, finishing 3rd behind the 2 favorites. No real excuse, up close to a moderate pace.
Yeah, it didn't run as well in her most recent start. She did 3 back going the 1-turn mile where she was just contesting the pace with the favorite and still almost pulled off an upset in that race, Dan. Around that one, there's a couple of sprints where she just really hasn't had any speed and has made up ground late. It feels like that's the kind of trip she's going to get in here. Of the horses who, could be longer prices, to me, she was by far the most interesting one.
Now, the last time the number 5 Keen Dancer went route to sprint, she pulled off an 11-1 upset. She's going to try it again here. The issue with her is she just doesn't seem to have a lot of early speed, and that often puts her far behind the pace. And if Timeform US is right, and this pace is not fast, it could just simply be too much for her to overcome.
Yeah, exactly. If she's going to need some help, if she's going to pull off what would be an upset in this race, Dan, not only is her running style one that sort of leads to her needing some help in her races, but, they've run her in this first level allowance condition in 2 of her last 3 starts, and she's been beaten a million lengths both times. Her form surrounding that against claiming horses is actually pretty good.
Although the number 6 Big Tony's Girl has been competing in open claimers recently, the last time she ran in this first level state bred condition, she ran an okay third at a pretty big price. And she's coming into this race now in good form off this victory, going the 7/8 of a mile distance 11 days ago. And Big Tony's Girl just didn't take any prisoners. She went to the lead. You see her take pressure. She's going to shrug off this horse to the outside, and she goes about her business. And it was an improved effort for Big Tony's Girl. And I wouldn't be surprised if they show similar send tactics here.
Yeah, they probably should try to get forward with her and just see if that can work out against this field. It's obviously a big step up in class. She's not beating a good field in this race, Dan. It was off of a little bit of a layoff, but she got the right ride and she got the job done.
Carbon, the number 7, is your morning line favorite. Carbon has been the beaten favorite in her last 3 races. I thought she ran well 2 starts back, where she assumed the lead turning into the stretch, and then looked like would be a pretty well beaten second, but dug in quite gamely and just dropped a very short neck decision. Now, last time out, she didn't do anything. She found the pocket on the turn, and she just ran around there like a merry-go-round. Maybe the wet track is what I'm thinking is the big excuse there. I think she's better on fast going.
I will agree with that, but she is a horse who's got a lot to prove now, Dan, and she's sort of running out of chances to show that she's actually going to turn out to be okay. Personally, I thought when she came back for her first start last year in March over this track, I thought she ran really well to break her maiden that day, and sort of expected her to just get better from there. And I'm not so sure that that has happened. Now, there's been another long layoff. She's caught some sealed and wet racetracks since then. So there are ways to make excuses for her. I would just be, a little leery of her if she's a really short price in this race.
Completing the field is the number 8. That's Juliana's Rose. And Juliana's Rose is cutting back the distance of her only victory at 7/8 of a mile. And generally, as a handicapping angle, we like horses cutting back to 7/8. She ran well 2 starts back. She had the lead. She finished a close second. Last time out, maybe being hung outside wasn't ideal for her.
I mean, that's possible. Certainly you could bolster that argument by pointing out that the winner, Mia Star, came right up the rail to win. Personally, I thought Juliana's Rose had a great trip in that race. She had dead aim on that field, and she just sort of came up empty in the stretch of that race. But listen, she still ran the race that she ran. I don't like her most recent performance. She does have a race or two that's going to give her a real chance in here, Dan. She's got a great post. She's got tactical speed. I didn't think she was that hard to make a case for.
Before we get a look at our top selections, please click that subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF video franchises. Topic time for Thursday's race of the day. It's the 8th at Aqueduct. Stone Creator showed a lot of promise last year as a 3-year-old filly. She won her debut. She's coming back fresh, and she could be the lone speed.
Yeah, I like all those things about her. I'll also point out that Charlie Baker is excellent off of long layoffs like this with dirt sprinters. To me, I just kind of felt like she was the best horse in the race, Dan. And if she's not going to be the favorite, she's the one I want.
Carbon as the morning line favorite, I have to admit I don't love, considering her record recently of losing as the favorite. I have a feeling she might not be the favorite in this race, will be the second or third choice. I want to give her one more chance if this racetrack comes up fast. She has some back figures, and I still think she has a little bit of upside potential. 7348 for me, 1784 for Mike. It's the Thursday race of the day, the 8th at Aqueduct. Good luck.